Look, some people say, the RT pundits are better than the TV3 ones. I don't believe that for a second. Not since I joined anyway.
Look, I suppose Joe, spoke to the players and that, in the build-up to the game and that, and I suppose the one thing, we can all agree on is that, Warren Gatland probably hates us even more than Eddie Jones does, so that's saying something. Is this live? Can this be edited? Shh. Well, sure, look, I suppose, for me, one of the big things, about retiring was, telling the lads that, I'd have to reduce the old discount on the XV Kings, from 20 down to 10%. So I suppose, sure, look at, some discount is better than none, I think very much from an Irish perspective, we saw with the Italian job here 2 weeks ago that effectively the sword of Damocles has fallen on Conor O'Shea's prospects of ever succeeding Joe Schmidt as head coach. Does anybody know what that means? No. Does that sound impressive? The answer is an unequivocal yes.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago we'll have taken, maybe more out of the players than, people may realise. Because I think the final episode of Striking Out, was a bit of a roller coaster. But I think like all good sides, they'll regroup.
Yeah, look at it to be a consistency in the focus, and focusing on your consistency. And after that, it's about processing your focus and focusing on your process in a kind of a systematic type of way. My own feelings on Jordan Larmour's emergence as, a world-class 15. Pretty good, to be honest.
Look at, in the end of the day, who'll win the Grand Slam? Look at, to the Ireland or England. Why? Because they're two serious operators. Look at, between them, they have Aviva Premierships, there's Pro 12s, there's Pro 14s, there's Heineken Cups, there's Six Nations, there's Grand Slams. But critically, All Ireland medals, 0. And take it from me, when you've 8 All Irelands, 9 Austrians and played there twice, that's all that matters. Very much hoping, we can make Croke Park, a fortress this weekend. But ultimately, I think South Africa and India in the T20 third test is always notoriously difficult to predict. A bit like elections, really. Hashtag not a clue.
All right, certainly, a lot of the talk in the build-up to this game, is, that the Welsh, are starting to find a bit of form, a bit of consistency. And I think we saw last weekend, the Waterford and Kilkenny match, we saw the likes of Porrick Welch, Walter Welch, these guys, really starting to find a bit of form, in the horse racing, Ruby Welch is back there, he's starting to chomp at the bit, as I say. And even looking over there in the west, at the Galway boys, Kevin Welch, another Welch, he's got these guys firing. So listen, I think it's going to be out to play for.